Hey guys, it's Eshani, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So today I am doing a video that you guys really requested me to do. You guys know that I really haven't done a ColourPop review video in Lord knows how long. It has to be at least a year, right? Definitely more than a year, I would say. But one of my all-time favorite YouTubers just released yet another collaboration with the brand. You guys all probably know KathleenLights. If you don't, she is absolutely fantastic. She's one of my favorite like big YouTube people. I would definitely say Kathleen is one of the most honest big YouTubers that I have personally found. At least that's the vibe that I get from her channel. I've never actually met her. I would love to meet her one day. I think she just seems so down to earth, super genuine. But anyways, she did collaborate with ColourPop yet again and released this new Dream collection. I believe it's called the Dream collection. Maybe it's called Dream Street, because there is this eyeshadow palette that's a part of the collection called the Dream Street Pressed Powder Shadow Palette. And then she also released 3 different lip products in this collection. So there's the palette, there's the lip products. You can pick up each of these lip products individually. You can also get them in a bundle set. So let's go ahead and start off by discussing the eyeshadow palette. I feel like that's the thing most people were really excited about, including myself. So we all know that ColourPop goes crazy with their releases. I mean, they release something new literally every other day. And once they started coming out with this eyeshadow palette version, they have released so many different types. There's like neutral ones. There was a warm one that I know was really popular. So going into testing this palette, I basically just started fresh. I thought it was a completely new formula to me. Let's just see how this goes. This is what the outside of Kathleen's palette looks like. I love that all of the names are written on the back of the box as well. And then this is a look at the palette itself. It is a magnetic cardboard palette. Again, the names are written on the back. It's this beautiful like creamy color with this gorgeous like rose gold marbled foiling. It is really, really stunning. Like I said, the palette is magnetic. There is no mirror at the top, and then you are getting 12 different eyeshadows. Each of these shadows is fairly small. You're getting approximately half the size in each of these pans as like a full-size Makeup Geek or MAC eyeshadow. However, given the fact that you're getting 12 different colors, and most of us aren't really running through eyeshadows very often anyways, I think it's still a really good value. Oh, and in case I didn't mention, this palette only retails for $16, which is honestly a really, really good deal for 12 colors. So before we discuss the pigmentation and texture of these shadows, let's just go ahead and jump into swatches of all of the colors in this palette so you guys can see the way they look on my skin. So here we have all of the colors in the KathleenLights Dream Street palette. From left to right, we have Shooting Star, Magical, Stardust, Twinkle, Sweet Dreams, Water Bearer, Potion, Spark, Kaleidoscope, Elfish, Moony, and Mermaid Boy. So firstly, let's talk about color selection in this palette. I have to say that I really, really love it. I love the mix of like warm toned colors mixed with these cool colors, but then you're also getting plenty of basic matte shades to really round out an eye look. I will say the first few times I dived into this palette, I did have a little bit of a tricky time coming up with good color combos. I ended up using a bunch of these warm colors like in my crease and transition, and then when I tried to use these bluish type colors on my lid, I felt like it looked a little disconnected. So the way I've been using this palette, and it's the way that I have it on my eyes today, is I've been using the warm colors on my like eyelid. So I did go in with Shooting Star in my crease. I also used Sweet Dreams all over my lid, and then I did use this color right here, which is Potion, as like a crease color. And then I did go in with Elfish on the outer corner. So I basically did like a warm upper lid. And then on the lower lash line, I pulled in a bunch of the blues. So I did pull in Mermaid Boy as the primary blue color, but then I also did use Water Bearer a little bit on the outer portion to smudge it out and smoke it out. I feel like using it that way, where you have like warm and then cool, at least for me and the way I do my eye looks, it looks a little bit more cohesive than incorporating like a reddish poppy color right next to a blue. I'm sure some people could pull it off. Kathleen could probably pull it off herself. She can pull off practically anything, but for me, I found it a little bit strange. Something else I really like about this palette is the mix of textures. I love that you're getting 6 matte colors. You're getting this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Then you're getting one kind of satin finish shadow. It's not a metallic, it's not a full shimmer. It's sort of like a shimmery matte. And then the remaining 5 shades are a pretty sparkly metallic finish. Now let's go ahead and jump into discussing the texture of these shadows, because like I said, I never really used ColourPop pressed shadows before. The mattes are really powdery. However, they are very pigmented and they blend beautifully. You'll also get a lot of fallout like on your actual eyes. So if you're using at least this palette, I would highly recommend you do your foundation after your eyes, because I got fallout every single time I've used this palette. The kind of pearly shade that I was talking about is also really beautiful, easy to pick up with any brush, blends beautifully, has opaque pigmentation. That one's not too powdery. I really love that shadow. And then in terms of the straight up metallic shadows, which like I said, there are 5 of them. For me, I have found the best one, funny enough, was Mermaid Boy, that kind of teal color. I feel like it has quite a bit more binder in it than the other shades. It's not really a flaky, glittery shadow. However, the other 4 metallic shades we have here, they do have a little bit more of a sheerness to them. They do need to be built up a little bit more. I highly recommend using those with a stiff, flat brush and really packing them onto the eyelid, because if you try to go in with like a fluffy brush, you're just gonna get a complete mess all over your eyes. Funny enough, the metallic shadows were actually my least favorite part of this palette. Not that they're bad or awful or impossible to use, but I was really pleasantly surprised with the mattes and that satin finish, and I just feel like the metallics just didn't live up to the hype. However, with all of that being said, for $16, this is a really good value. A really nice assortment of colors. I do feel like this would be a palette that, like, I look at this palette and I don't think it necessarily looks like any other palette in my collection. So yeah, my thoughts on the palette overall is that it's really good. I wouldn't say it's like a complete and total life-changing, mind-boggling formula by any means, but it's a very workable palette, easy to use, love the colors. I think it looks beautiful and the price is right. Next up, let's jump right into discussing the 3 lip products that Kathleen released. She released 1 ultra glossy lip and 2 of the ultra satin lips. Now you can pick up all 3 of these lip products as a set for $15. However, you can also pick up each of these individually for $6 a piece if you want. So as you can see, the 3 shades that Kathleen released, I feel like really epitomize her. These are the colors that I see her wearing a lot on her lips and the ones she says that she absolutely loves. Now I'll go ahead and zoom you guys in so I can show you all 3 of these lip products swatched on my lips, and I'll also go ahead and talk about the 2 different formulas and my experience with the formulas. First off, we have the 1 shade of ultra glossy lip that she released. This is called Moonchild, and this I would describe as a medium beige nude with very subtle gold shimmer in it. The gold shimmer isn't chunky or glittery. You honestly can barely tell it's there, but it does add a little bit of extra light to the color, which I do really like. I will say that while this type of nude gloss seems fairly universal, it does work on my skin tone. It's maybe just a little bit lighter than I would personally go for. In terms of this formula, I've never used the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lips, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I will say they are fairly lightweight, they are fairly glossy, they're not thick, they're not sticky, they feel decently hydrating on the lips. I wouldn't say they're like a lip balm or anything like that, but they definitely don't dry out your lips. In terms of the lasting power, at least on this shade, because it is a nude, nude shade. It really doesn't last that long. You definitely want to touch it up every hour or two probably. My favorite way to use this color is over a nude lip liner. That's the way that I've been wearing it throughout the entirety of the review portion of this video, and I really do like it that way. I will say it's not my favorite gloss ever. It's not my favorite color on my skin tone, but I can still get it to work. Next up, let's talk about one of the Ultra Satin lips that she released. This one is in the shade Dreamy, and this I believe Kathleen described as like a burnt salmon color, and that's pretty much exactly what I would describe it as. It is like a nude type shade, but it is definitely a pinky coral nude. This is another shade I don't love on my skin tone. I don't think it looks bad by any means. This shade looks drop dead gorgeous on Kathleen though, and I'm sure on many different skin tones it'll look beautiful, but I feel like for me it's just a little bit too vibrant of a nude, if that makes any sense. That kind of peachy orangeness really does pop a lot more on my skin. And then the other Ultra Satin lip is called Rivera Revver. This is a French word that Eshani cannot pronounce, but it is a really bright orangey red. Heavy emphasis on the orange. It is almost like a neon tangerine orange on my skin tone. This is one of those shades that I hear people like Kathleen raving about and say that it is their favorite color to wear on their lips, which I honestly completely understand, because when I see it on her lips, I have like the heart eye emojis all over the place. I feel like shades like this just look too vibrant and too bright, almost like I'm straight up wearing like a black light lipstick. Like this would probably glow under black light, I feel. And I feel like it doesn't look this vibrant or this crazy on other skin tones, but it just does on mine. I don't know if I'm just being too harsh on it. So maybe let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love the color though. Beautiful, it went on beautifully. The formula was absolutely spot on. This is just never the color that I personally reach for when I'm looking for a bold statement, because it's just a little too bold for me. And then in terms of the formula of the Ultra Satin lips, I'm gonna go ahead and link my full review video on this formula down below for you guys, because I did lip swatch pretty much the entire original line that ColourPop came out with. And in that video, I did talk about the formula very much in depth, but just to give you guys a quick Cliff Notes version of it, it is a really nice formula. It goes on almost like a cream, but that when it sets down or dries down, it does look fairly matte. This is not a smudge proof or transfer proof formula, so despite it looking fairly matte, it will still smudge off on napkins or glasses or anything like that. Of course, if you eat or drink, you're gonna 100% want to touch this up because it will fade pretty quickly. However, if you're not messing around with the lip product too much, you're not eating a lot or drinking too much, these brighter or more vibrant colors will last you a good 6 to 8 hours. This is a formula I would recommend for those of you guys who want to try matte liquid lipsticks, but you either have naturally dry, cracked, flaking lips, or if you're just not a fan of the way a fully matte, smudge-proof, transfer-proof matte liquid lipstick feels on the lips. These are really nice feeling. But like I said, check out that full in-depth review video that I've linked below for you guys if you want more information on this formula. So there were all three of the lip products swatched on my lips. If I were to be perfectly honest, I'm really not in love with any of these colors on my specific skin tone. I think they look drop dead gorgeous on Kathleen. However, for some reason, my medium tan complexion, I feel like just didn't really take any of these colors ideally, or at least in a way that I thought was super flattering. But again, if you are like Kathleen's skin tone or potentially a different skin tone than me, you might absolutely love the colors. However, both of these formulas are really good. I love the Ultra Satin lips. Like I said, I do have a full review video on these and I've loved them from back then, so it's nice to see shade extensions on, in my opinion, a pretty classic ColourPop formula. So there we have it, guys. Those are my thoughts on the new KathleenLights ColourPop collaboration. I definitely think the eyeshadow palette is the hit star of this collection without a doubt. I think if you're looking for a very unique assortment of colors, you will really like this. And honestly, for the price, it's a really, really good buy. And I do love the lip products too. They just weren't my favorite shades on my skin tone. But anyways, that wraps up this review video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It would absolutely make my day. And I will see you guys in my next video on Thursday. I'll see you then. Bye.